To go live for a live broadcast. This is a special emergency broadcast. This is the Bitcoin halving, a special emergency broadcast, and we had to move this up because the blocks were coming fast and furious, and so we had this scheduled. We were going to do it late this evening, but the blocks are coming fast and furious, and it looks like it's going to be here pretty soon. I'm trying to find this broadcast on my iPad, and I'm having trouble bringing it up. Try one more time here. Hopefully it'll show up. Oh, where is it? Try this again. It says we're live. It should show up. Not showing up on my iPad. Give me a moment here to try to find this. Try to relaunch the app, see if that works. See if that gives me any satisfaction. It certainly says on the video that we are live. And it is not showing up. Let's see. What am I to do? I've never had this happen, where I literally can't find the video on the iPad. Let me check on the computer and see if it's showing up there. Give me a little bit of time here to get this sorted out, because I've got to have a guest come in. I've got to have Carlos come in to help with this, and it would be helpful if I can monitor the comments and so forth. And it says we're live. Let me go in here and bring it up on the computer so that I can check and see what's going on. Give me a little bit of time here to, okay, there it is sorted out. Computer. Let me get my headset. See if I'm hearing myself. Because I got to have a guest come in. I've got to have testing 1 2. Okay, Carlos come in. It's working. It's just that I can't get it helpful if I can monitor the comments. We stop the broadcast here, so we don't have a double broadcast. And let's see. Durr says we're live, and we try again to get this to refresh. Oh, there we go. Finally came up. All right. Okay, now I've got it up on the iPad. Now we're fully operational, and well, we're going live now. We're 7:30. What happened was that the processing of the blocks has been happening like really fast, and so they've been, I guess the miners are trying to get, gotta clean my glasses. I guess they're trying to get as many blocks done before the halving as they can, because of the bigger reward, right? The rewards are being cut in half. So the blocks have been coming fast and furious. Usually it's 10 minutes on average for a block. And there have been blocks in like 5 minutes, 8 minutes. I mean, just a lot faster than normal. So the halving is coming up a lot faster than the estimates showed. Oh boy, that doesn't, I got to get a better cloth to clean these things. I really shouldn't be using this particular microfiber to clean these, but anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so Carlos should be standing by to Skype in, and when he Skypes in, maybe he can give us some insight as to what is going on, why things have sped up so fast. I'm going to put this on. I get my other cloth to clean these glasses. Okay. I have always hated plastic lenses. It's almost impossible to get them clean, no matter what microfiber cloth you use. And so that's a whole other thing. Okay, here's Carlos calling in. And let me put him on full screen.
Hello, Craig.
And okay, there we go. And so, Carlos, right now, I guess you're sharing your screen because I'm seeing myself.
No, I am not sure. No.
Oh, okay. I was seeing. Oh, now I'm seeing you. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for those that aren't familiar with what's going on and there's some confusion about why this happened so quickly, can you shed some light on what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. Well, basically, as you were talking before, the thing is, it seems I am not an expert on this, but
Mm-hmm.
as yesterday we were talking about that, I had a bit of curiosity to dig a bit
Mm-hmm.
on it, no?
Sure.
Yeah, but the thing is basically, as you say, the blockchain is designed to have a new block at around 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the idea of the design of the blockchain, but it's not always the same. And it depends, of course, because every block for the viewers, there are a lot of miners that are competing to be able to do a mathematical computation
Mm-hmm.
to be able to conform a block. If
Yes.
they are able to solve that problem, they will have a successful mining and they will get the reward that you were telling before.
Okay. And they're basically putting a lot of hash power at this and doing
Yeah.
it faster than normal. Do you think that they're doing this so that they can get as many blocks done while the reward is still higher? Is that why it's speeding up here right at the end?
Well, first of all, I've been checking, and one of the mechanisms that have the blockchain to moderate that average block time is
Mm-hmm.
the difficulty of the hash calculation.
Okay.
And in fact, currently it's scheduled for in 1 week to increase the difficulty of the hash calculation because now on the last 24 hours it has calculated like 170 blocks,
Mm-hmm.
while the normal, if it will be one block every 10 minutes, will be like 140. And
Yeah.
it's
So
expected,
that's what's called the difficulty adjustment, where they
yeah,
adjust it. If it's happening too fast, they'll make an adjustment, and then
yeah,
yeah. So they'll do an adjustment, and then of course there'll probably have to be an adjustment as well after the halving because that's going to affect things as well because there are going to be miners that are going to drop out and that sort of thing because of the halving. So
yeah,
it'll
sure.
be kind of all over the place a little bit probably for the next few weeks. So Durr asked, he says he's not sure what this halving thing's about, and he's also asking what reward are we talking about. The mining reward, says Brett. Okay, so here's the quick overview of what we're talking about. The reason I'm doing this special broadcast is this only happens every 4 years, the Bitcoin halving. Some people refer to it as the halvening. And what happens is the reward, the miners who do the calculations that Carlos was referring to, they're running their computers. They're using a lot of electricity, and they're trying to solve this complicated math problem, if you will, the cryptography, whatever. It's all this a little bit over my head, but they're processing these blocks, and on average, they're supposed to happen about once every 10 minutes as a new block is created, and then the other miners will kind of like nod off on that, and you'll get what's called confirmations when you're doing a transaction, where you get a certain number of confirmations, and then you can pretty much assume that that is a legitimate transaction on the blockchain. And the block, once it's done and verified by X number of miners and so on, they move on, they do the next block. Basically, that's cast in stone. That's there as a permanent record of the transactions that happened during that 10-minute time frame. And the miners, the way they earn money by doing all this work is they get a reward in the form of Bitcoin, newly minted Bitcoin, if you will. And it started out, it was 50 Bitcoin when Bitcoin first started, and then the first halving took it down to 25, and then the next halving, which was in 2000 and 16 took it down to 12.5, which is where we are now. And then 4 years later, we're going to take it down to 6.25 Bitcoin. And then 4 years from now, in 2024, roughly, 4 years, again, depending on how quickly these blocks are processed and so on, it's going to drop again in half, so then we'll be at 3.25. So that's what happens every 4 years. And then eventually when they get to 21 million Bitcoin total being minted, that's it. They're done. They won't be producing any more Bitcoin. And then the only way that the miners are going to get rewarded for continuing to run their equipment and continuing to process is by fees that they charge to process a transaction. And they're getting that now. They're getting the block reward, and then they're also getting transaction fees for processing a transaction through the network. Just like Visa takes a fee, right? When you buy something or whatever, Visa takes a cut. Well, on Bitcoin, the miners take a cut to support their ongoing work. So is that a pretty good overview, Carlos, as you understand it?
Yes, but to give more specific figures and to understand the potential impact of this is currently the mining reward will be, speaking in dollars, will be around $111,000 potentially every 10 minutes.
Okay.
And now after this halving, the reward that they are going to have is close to $56,000. A part of that,
and of course, that depends on the price of the Bitcoin.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
at the current price.
Yes.
At the current
yes.
price, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. At the current.
Exactly. So the miner's going to be basically going to be getting half the amount of money. Is really. I mean,
a relevant amount.
Unless Bitcoin goes significantly up in price,
Yeah.
which could change that. But yes, the miners are going to be getting less of a reward. And what this does is this sometimes shakes out some of the miners that are operating at closer margins, and that it's just not worth it for them to mine anymore. And mining Bitcoin has always been that way, where it's been a survival of the fittest. And it's like you got to figure out, where can I locate my mine so that it's in a cooler area, so I don't have to spend as much money cooling my equipment. Maybe I can be right near a hydroelectric dam so I can get electricity cheap. So it's literally survival of the fittest. And the people that figure out how to mine more efficiently with either more efficient equipment or, like I say, cheaper electricity or cheaper cooling, all of these things make it a very competitive environment for mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, and the other impact that we should have, as you were telling before, the other component that the miners have is the transaction fees. To give you an idea, I have been looking currently about the transaction fees for a full block, now are in around $4,000.
Okay.
Then that amount is relatively small comparing from the mining.
Exactly. Yes, that's correct. And the theory is that as Bitcoin becomes more widely adopted, and as it's used for more transactions, that hopefully the transaction fees can replace the mining fees, and it can continue to go on without, obviously there has to be incentive for these people to run this equipment to keep the system secure. That's what keeps Bitcoin secure, is what's called the hash rate, the number of computers distributed around the world that are able to keep this whole thing going. And if that hash rate gets too low, then Bitcoin is susceptible to what they call a 51% attack, where the system can be attacked and compromised. And that's the last thing anybody involved in Bitcoin wants to see happen. So all very interesting things. Now, Durr has a question. So miners get free Bitcoin for approving Bitcoin transactions from people who are buying them. Well, not necessarily buying them. If I'm just sending it from me to somebody else, that's like a transaction, right? the miners are who are basically authenticating that and getting that to be part of the blockchain. And so that's where the transaction fees come in. The mining reward is newly minted Bitcoins are basically issued to them, the one that was able to solve the to beat out the others in the competition, if you will, and create that block. They get that block reward, which right now is 12.5 Bitcoin, and is going to drop here soon. Is going to drop down to 6.25. So yeah, and let's see, what problems need to be solved? Don't they just put out Bitcoin and people buy it? Durr's asking that question. Can you explain how the cryptography works roughly? What these miners are doing?
Well, basically, they are doing something that, in theory, is simple or basic, but in reality is very, very complex. Basically, what they are doing is putting together all the transactions that go into the block, and they have to calculate what is called a hash. That is a block of characters, of bytes, that is not very big.
Mm-hmm.
That validates that all that goes into that block correspond to that mathematical operation. It's like a sign. They have a sign.
It's like, in effect, they're solving a math problem. They're solving a complex equation that takes a lot of computing power to do. And then once they do it, then it's obvious that it's correct. And then the other miners just say, yeah, that's right. And then they all nod off on it, and then they all move on to the next block. That's kind of how I understand it. But yeah, it's cryptography. It's over my pay grade. But it has survived for 10 years, and the Bitcoin blockchain has never been hacked. And it has been attacked relentlessly, and people have tried their best, but they've been unsuccessful. So it's pretty amazing that this thing has been able to run for 10 years. It had a very limited amount of downtime in its early stages. There was a little bit of downtime. I forget exactly what happened, but basically after the first couple of years, it's been robust and continuing to run and spread around the world. And just becoming and this is the thing, this is my belief on Bitcoin, is if it continues to become more distributed, if the people we call whales that have a lot of Bitcoin, if they periodically sell off some, and then other people buy small amounts, and it slowly but surely gets more and more distributed, I think that's how it becomes more and more powerful, is the more distributed it gets. And also the more miners that distribute around the world to distribute the computing power, that's hopefully what will end up happening. Let's see. There are a couple more questions here. We talked about that one.
We are going now on the block. We are 3 blocks away now. 1 minute ago, he has.
Can you show this and explain what you're looking at?
Okay.
And the lovely Brianna, Fit Dance, is in the house, and it is possible that Brianna will receive some Bitcoin live on the show. It's possible that Brianna will receive some, and maybe she'll be able to Skype in. We'll see if she's able to. I don't know if she's in the middle of a class with her college or what's going on, but she is in the chat, and Carlos is sharing his screen now.
Yeah.
And
I screen now.
Yep. Right now I'm seeing the Skype screen.
Should change.
So you might want to bring the other window forward.
But what are you are seeing?
I'm seeing you're moving the Skype window around, and I'm seeing behind it is the chat for the show.
Okay, then is the other screen what I want to see.
Okay. Take your time. This is live television, folks. This is an emergency broadcast. This is the Bitcoin halving or halvening that is literally going to happen here in a matter of minutes. And right now I'm seeing the blockchain block explorer.
Okay, fine.
Okay, and that is showing us transactions right there. and
Yeah.
it's showing us the miner. And what about, now how do we tell what block we're on?
This is the last block that has been processed, and it was 3 minutes ago. Before, the previous one was 14 minutes, the other one 25. But as Craig said, sometimes this is not a fixed time.
Yeah.
The idea is to be 10 minutes, but before Craig and myself, we were having some communication by email. This is going much faster than what
Yeah, but
we
it's
were.
not showing that on your graph there. It's showing some were 1 hour and one was 2 hours. Or
Yeah, but
is that was when it was mined 2 hours ago? Is that what that's saying?
yeah.
Oh, so that's 2 hours ago. That's not. Is there somewhere where we can see how long it took them to mine it, or does it not show that?
Well, here in this case, 11 minutes.
Okay, Brianna is calling in. I'm going to add her into the call. Okay, see if this works. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, the lovely Brianna is now added to the call.
Hello, Bri.
Perfect.
Hi, how are
Perfect. And you're up there in the circle. Good. And we're still seeing your screen, which is very good. Now, Brianna, are you seeing the screen for the blocks?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. Okay, so keep going with your explanation. This is fascinating. Thank you very much for doing this, Carlos.
In fact, I had another website that explained better, but suddenly I assume that they have a lot of connection.
Yeah, they can't handle it. Yeah, they can't handle the traffic. Okay.
But one thing that we can see is, for example, this thing. If we go inside the block,
yes,
like the block, we can see what you say. Who was the miner?
Okay.
Yeah? When was the timestamp? When was the block considered valid?
Yes.
The amount of transactions that go into the block.
Okay.
Most of
2,793 transactions right there. Okay. Good.
Most of those, I assume, are of Bitcoin, but it's not necessarily. In fact, it would be possible to use a Bitcoin blockchain for other kind of applications, but for sure, very, very most of it is about that.
Okay.
But there are other kind of things, and in
there's
this case,
the block reward right there too, 12.5. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's the volume.
The total transaction volume on this block.
Okay.
These blocks are of around 1 megabyte. 1 megabyte.
Okay.
And in this case, the block reward has been 12.5, as Craig said. And
there's the fee. The fee reward was 1.07 Bitcoin. Okay. Yeah. Very good. Very good information. Very, very good information. Okay. So let's.
And these are the details of all the transactions. That is very important, and that is a thing that, you know, my opinion as for Bitcoin as an investment, but I really appreciate the technical solution, and it's something very, very interesting to me from the technical side.
Yes, yes, it is something really an amazing invention, and there are people that have said that this is as significant as the internet itself, that this invention is very significant, because what it did, the problem that this solved, is digital scarcity. Before this, anything digital, like a song, an MP3 or a video file or whatever, they could all be easily duplicated and just shared to people, right? What they wanted to solve with Bitcoin was, how can we create a digital item, 1 Bitcoin, for example, that somebody cannot willy-nilly copy and duplicate, in other words, counterfeit. And this was the problem that he solved, was the double spending problem. I send a Bitcoin to Carlos, and then I right away send the same Bitcoin to Brianna. That's not going to work. That's a problem. And so this is one of the problems that Satoshi solved, was the double spending problem. And having a secure enough network that these Bitcoin can actually be secure, and that we know who owns each and every Bitcoin, So he basically created digital scarcity, which never really existed before this. There are people that tried it different various ways, but they really, and I will add to that, in a decentralized way. Okay, you can create digital scarcity centralized. If you just create a database and you have a guy somewhere that keeps track of that and says, okay, Carlos has one and Brianna has one. Well, that's different. That's centralized, right? You're controlling it somewhere. And the idea behind Bitcoin was have something that's totally decentralized and has that digital scarcity without having to have a trusted third party in the middle. That's the other element of it that was unique. Let's see.
Yeah, it's something that we probably we are starting to see other applications that use this infrastructure. Other applications that maybe are not as profitable as the cyber currency, but potentially any application that would have multiple sides and that for whatever reason, for security or for trust between the different parties, they can use this infrastructure to solve a problem.
Okay,
that problem
exactly. Now, I want to touch on that in a moment, but can you take a check and see how close are we getting to the halving?
Check more or less the same. We are still half in this one.
So we're at 629,997, and what does that number have to get to? 63.
Yeah, my only doubt is if the 630 will be with the new fees or will be 630,001. That is, I don't know. If
You're not sure. You're not sure about that.
I'm not sure if the fee will change on the even number or if will be on the first one.
That's a good question. Well, I'll tell you what. You can send your Bitcoin on the even number one, and I'll send my Bitcoin on the next one. I'm going to send Bree some Bitcoin too, and so that way we'll cover them both. Now, are you going to put a note with the one that you're going to send? You're going to put some.
No, the thing is, I've been playing a bit with it. And yeah, it's quite interesting how the fees thing work, and that could be something interesting to share. I have here a small spreadsheet to share with the viewers.
Okay, now and before you show that, I do want to touch base back on the using this blockchain technology for other things. In other words, all these projects that have popped up, altcoins and Ethereum and all these different things that say that they're going to use blockchain to solve all the world's problems. I do want to say that I think that that's very unlikely that blockchain is going to be able to be used successfully for any other use other than Bitcoin. And the reason I say that is it is extremely expensive. To run this decentralized network with computers all over the world, using the amount of hash power that they're using, the amount of electricity that they're using, and so on, it is very expensive to do this. And there really is no entity that would want to do that, because if somebody wants to create a system for, let's say, real estate transactions or whatever it may be, generally speaking, that entity is going to want to have a certain amount of control. They're not going to want to decentralize the whole thing and not be in control. So there's no reason for them to pay for a huge decentralized network that's extremely expensive to do something that they can just do centralized, basically with a spreadsheet. So I don't think anybody has come forward yet with a plan that makes sense to do. And the only reason, in my opinion, that Bitcoin succeeded and is still running is it flew under the radar for a long period of time, and it got spread around enough, just enough, decentralized, and took off just enough to where it got big enough to where it would be hard to kill. And they don't know who started it. They don't know anything about it. So who do you go after? There's no guy to put in jail, right? And so it would be very hard to duplicate that today. It would be very hard to create something and have it fly under the radar like that today with all the social media and everything that's going on. I just think it would be very, very difficult. So that's just my little,
It's the thing is you are looking it from the point of view of building a new infrastructure. The thing, yes, it's true that the Bitcoin blockchain has very limited applications that are not exactly Bitcoin. But for example, the Ethereum network, that is quite a big network, not as big as Bitcoin, but is already a developed network. You can embed your application inside an existing network. And in the Ethereum network blockchain, can go cyber currency, Ethereum cyber currency transactions, and could be other applications on that same network.
Well, yeah, exactly. But here's the problem. Ethereum has the same problem. They're pretty much centralized. And also, they're already talking about going away from proof of work and going to something like proof of stake because it's so expensive to run proof of work that it just doesn't make sense. It's not scalable. Their whole thing is not scalable, and they've had all kinds of problems with scalability. So I think Ethereum is going to be a total failure for those reasons, and we'll see. I mean, this thing will play out, and we'll see what happens. But I'm saying right here and now that I don't see another application that's going to use blockchain other than Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's it. And I think a lot of things will be running on Bitcoin, like the Lightning Network that they're developing for small payments and so forth. That'll be running on the blockchain, the Bitcoin, and other things. But I don't think we're going to see another network that is going to make sense. So we'll see what happens. Now, RWAGS has a comment in here. Current mining break even is 5 to 6K per Bitcoin. Post halving break even mining 10 to 13K. We'll need to see price of Bitcoin get above those levels or miners will be unprofitable. Miners will exit the space. RWAGs in the house. Yes, some miners are going to, that's called capitulation. Some miners are going to capitulate, but RWAGs, what happens is that's what the difficulty adjustment is for. If that does happen, there can be a difficulty adjustment, and then your break even might not be $5,000 or $6,000. So depending on the difficulty adjustment, see, that's one of the brilliant things that Satoshi built into this system is he anticipated this. And so it will adjust, and then more miners will come back in. And also miners will figure out how to do it more efficiently, how to, again, locate where electricity is cheaper. And so it literally is survival of the fittest. And so, Brianna, you've been silent. Any comments on what we've been discussing?
Yeah, I think that Bitcoin is very. It's going to be successful. It's pretty much the top cryptocurrency right now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this is cool. This is interesting to watch.
So you're not really interested in any altcoins?
No.
There you go. There you go. The lovely Brianna says she'll just stick to Bitcoin. And are you planning on selling any of your Bitcoin?
Nope. Never.
There you go. Talk about a strong hand. She's not going to sell any of her Bitcoin. There you go. So what's that? Okay, Carlos, you were going to show us something else.
Yeah, that thing from the technical side is very interesting, as Craig was telling, how really is a market that doesn't have any regulation, but the regulation is the technical infrastructure of the market and all the actors acting together. Mm-hmm. Things that are very interesting, as Craig said, how the blockchain considered with that difficulty rate and how it prepares for the technology advance, because you can imagine that the current state of the art on computing is very, very different than 3 years ago, 10
Yes.
years ago, and
Yes.
the blockchain has a mechanism to protect. And in fact, currently, I would say all the miners use very specific processors that
Yes.
are made specifically just for mining Bitcoin.
That's right.
Time ago, they started. People started using the regular home
Their
computers.
computer, yes. And Joey did ask about this. How does someone become a miner? And it's difficult now. You have to have specialized equipment. You have to have access to really good electricity prices, and it's very competitive. So it's really not that practical for an individual to try to mine it at this point in time.
No, practical no. Practical no. In fact, anyone could have a mining application in their computer,
Mm-hmm.
but never, never, ever will earn money about that. Could be a technical curiosity doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and also there are people who sell a specific USB computers that you can plug to your computer to do the thing, and are very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
The device, but really you are not going to have to get money from it. And
Yeah.
consider that you are competing with huge huge farms,
Yeah.
thousands and
And
thousands
and Carlos, this is one of the reasons why I'm continuing to hold my Bitcoin and think that does have some potential upside is when I see the amount of money that some of these individuals are investing in some of these mining operations, and I see the infrastructure that's being built, and things like the Cash App and Jack Dorsey, putting at Bitcoin on his Twitter description, right? It just says at Bitcoin, right? The co-founder of Twitter. When I see all of these things happening, I think, well, a lot of these people are a lot smarter than me, and they're investing all this money and time and resources into Bitcoin. So I just have to think there's got to be something there. And so far, it's paid off. I mean, I bought it a lot cheaper than it is now, and so far, it's paid off, right? And so I'm just not willing to bet against all these smart individuals that are involved in this thing. And Brianna, I think you follow some of them on Twitter. Don't you find some of these people like Jimmy Song, for example, just
Yes.
to be very intelligent people?
Yes, entrepreneurs and really are focused on this cryptocurrency.
Okay, so Triforce Rich says he's contrary. He says, I will be honest, I don't believe in BTC long term, but there is fantastic opportunity for short term gain as I am considering getting in on. There you go. He might be a short termer. Yeah, we call them traders, and people that trade Bitcoin, generally speaking, get wrecked. But he can try. He can try trading Bitcoin. It's hard to time the market and do well with that. But if you're not greedy, if you buy and you get about a 15% profit or something, and you take your profit, I mean, that's okay. But
in my case, I am on the opposite opinion. In fact, I really like the technology, but I will not invest in Bitcoin.
Sure.
Money. It is my point, my personal point of view. And if you ask me, I would say that Bitcoin is going to worth $0 in I don't know what future, but it's just an opinion. And
yeah,
but
there
I
are basically there are basically two camps on Bitcoin. Really, there are people that think that it's going to fail and therefore go to zero, and then there are people that think that it's going to go to the moon, and not a whole lot of in between. I mean, people either think it's the real deal and it's going to catch on, because here's the thing: the market cap is very small right now. That's why it's so volatile, is there's a relatively small amount of people that are involved in this and invested in this, a relatively small amount of money. And so that's why it can swing so greatly. If a couple $1 billion comes into the space, that can move the market. And so, there it is obviously a risky, because of the size of the market cap, obviously it's a high risk investment, but sometimes that's how you get high rewards, is high risk investments. And so far it's been very rewarding for me. And I have to be honest, I am playing at this point with the house's money. I mean, I've long since taken out my initial investment and then some. And so I'm way ahead at this point. But having said that, if I had 0 Bitcoin right now, if I didn't own any Bitcoin, I would still buy at least 1 Bitcoin and stick it away. I would not want to be a no coiner. I'd want to have at least one, just in case, just as a hedge. Durr's in the house, and he says something to Lance Loveland, okay. Less time to eat flaming hot Cracker-Jacks when you're buying up Bitcoin. And Triforce Rich says, buy short term, I mean hold until minimum 20% profit. I don't invest and flip in a matter of days. Short term to me is long term for others. I'm with Carlos. BTC will go to 0 eventually. Well, people that think it's going to go to 0, they should short it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
short it. Short Bitcoin. You can short it, right? All right, where do we stand now, Carlos?
Yeah, we are very close. We are very close to it. I think we are 2 blocks away. Now the page is responding again.
Okay. And
so the last block that has been processed is the 98.
Okay.
Then this is.
And here's Kevin. Here's Kevin in the house. Kevin says Bitcoin is the only true thing you can own. And Triforce Rich says, I think a lot of concern is that it is controlled by whales in the background. But that's becoming more and more distributed. Every day, more people buy, and it becomes more and more distributed. So, yeah, that concern is slowly but surely eroding away. And here's the other thing that the other point that I would make is, and that's a very good point that Kevin did, that Bitcoin is the only true thing you can own. Here's the thing. When you look at Bitcoin, Carlos, and you compare it to other things that you can put your money in, okay? You can leave your money in U.S. dollars, all right? We know for a fact that over time you're going to lose purchasing power with the U.S. dollar, 3% a year. Okay, so we know for a fact that your purchasing power of that dollar that you've got sitting in your bank account is going to erode away over time. That's a known. That has a track record of happening.
Yeah, it's different.
We know the stock market has returned a certain return over time, and it's pretty consistent about returning a certain return over time. So you can put your money in the stock market. You can buy real estate, which has other issues associated with it, the costs of having it, taxes, all these kinds of things. Of course, I own real estate also. I own all of the above. I like to be diversified, right? But all these investments have advantages and disadvantages. One of the main advantages of Bitcoin is the carrying cost is 0. Once you own it and you've got it sitting somewhere, it doesn't cost you anything to own that Bitcoin. Now, you can get a return on it. There are services like BlockFi where you can park your Bitcoin and get a return. I think they offer like 5% return at this point. But that's taking a risk. Of course, you're putting your Bitcoin in somebody else's hands, right? But there are ways of getting a return on your Bitcoin. But if you just take your Bitcoin and put it in a safe place, use a hardware wallet to secure it, basically it has no carrying costs. And so I guess what I'm saying is there are advantages and disadvantages to all places to park your money. Call it an investment, call it a store value like gold or whatever you want to call it, right? A watch, high-end watch. Wherever you stick your money, there are advantages and disadvantages. And I'd like to just be really distributed, really have a lot of different places where I put my money so that if one goes way up, maybe the other one will go down, maybe the other one will go up, it just kind of comes out in the wash. So
I agree with you, and everything in the end has a gambling component. In my opinion, a Bitcoin gambling component is too big for me, in my opinion. But okay, I understand that it's a different asset. There are different people. I just hope that the people that gets inside doesn't go too bad, and
that they
and
don't they don't
people that
they
we
don't
are
put they
outside
don't put
don't.
all their eggs in one basket. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Greg and Brent is in the house. He says they think it's going to zero because they've got no skin in the game. Craig, there you go.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and Ignore
No,
Ignore says, remember back in 2016, BTC price declined before it spiked. I wonder if we'll see that again. It's happened both times. It's happened in 2012 and in 2016. I think what happens is you have the halving. You have a little bit of a sell-off usually before the halving. You usually have a little bit of a sell-off after the halving, and then it usually goes sideways for a while. And I think what the reason that this happens is my best guess is it takes a while for what they call the supply shock, the fact that there's half the supply. It takes a while for that to be realized, for the significance of that to start, the ramifications of that to start manifesting themselves. So
uh-huh.
it takes time. See, what happens is right now, the newly minted Bitcoins, they're being bought up by the Cash App people and by Coinbase. They're the main customers of buying the new minted Bitcoins. And as it stands right now, they're buying 56% of the new Bitcoin mined. Those two entities alone. They're buying 56% of the new Bitcoin that's coming out. So the fact that it's being cut in half, they're going to be buying all of it. I mean, they're going to, if they keep buying at the same rate, right? Now all of a sudden they got to buy it all. And so that will slowly permeate through the system to where that could affect the price. That could create some
Yeah.
upward price pressure. So we will see. We will see what happens. Nothing else. It's exciting to watch Bitcoin. You have to admit that, Carlos. There's some
Oh,
excitement
yeah,
to it.
for sure. And I'm from. I really like the technology, and I like the idea of this kind of market thing. I just don't want to put my money on it, or in this case, but I
Well,
really like the idea.
eventually, we're going to get you to buy a Grand Seiko, and then next we're going to get you to buy a
Maybe,
Bitcoin. I think that's where we're
maybe
headed.
they are.
Okay,
Maybe they are.
so what do we look
So,
like right now? How close are we getting?
yeah, we are getting close. We are getting close. But I think that could be interesting to talk what will be the impact of this thing,
Okay.
and about the components, or at least two components on the blockchain network
Okay.
that affect to this halving.
Okay.
Here on this website,
Mhm.
we can see mempool.
Yes.
Mempool.
Yes.
What we can see here is basically before the transactions are confirmed or conform
Mhm.
into a block by a miner,
Yes.
they are waiting on this mempool.
Yes.
And this mempool are potential transactions, are transactions that has been sent from someone that has not been already finalized. And
That's
the
right. That's sort
transaction,
of like what's on deck. That's sort of like
yeah, effectively.
what's ready to go next. Yeah.
And what we can see here that is interesting is that currently we have a mempool size of 28 megabytes.
Yes.
That is about the capacity for 28 blocks. Then, if suddenly it would be possible to calculate the hashes for 28 blocks, there are this amount of transactions waiting.
Mhm.
And that is something that also what how is made the decision about what transactions go into each block.
Well,
Basically,
that's where the fees come in, right? If you
yeah,
pay extra fee, you can get to the front of the list.
yeah, that is effectively the thing, and we can do a small example about that. No,
And
for
so
example,
here's the thing: if you're not in a hurry to have your transaction processed and confirmed, then you pay a lower fee, and then it might take longer for you to get in a block and get confirmed. But eventually, it'll get done. It just might take longer. If you're in a
Yeah,
hurry,
yes and no. Yes and no. As I have been playing today a bit. I can show an example that I have done today. I
okay,
have created a new wallet today,
okay,
and I have transferred to this wallet from my other wallet three different transactions.
okay,
This one was sent with a fee of, in this case, was so this was like a high priority fee that
okay,
was about $1
okay,
per the transaction,
okay,
and this fee and this transaction was completed without any problem in 1 or 2 blocks.
okay,
And we are going to do another example. More or
okay,
less at the same time, I sent these two other transactions. This that is paying 2.1 satoshis per byte, and this another transaction that is paying 1 satoshi per byte. And here I am having on this 1 satoshi per byte is the minimum fee that the wallet that I am using allows.
yes,
And this this icon, in my understanding, is telling me that this transaction might not finish. In my understanding,
yeah. So you went
if
too low.
after 1 week or two doesn't complete,
Yeah,
the transaction gets canceled.
yeah,
But
yeah. And most wallets, would generally not allow that. I mean, you were able to go really low on that. Like I'm using the blockchain.info, the wallet. I don't think they would allow you to pick a fee that's so low that it wouldn't happen.
like I can show as an example. And then this one, if I go into this transaction that probably will finish, but we don't know where, is in a position of the mempool that is 11 megabytes from the tip,
Yeah.
from the top of the pool.
Okay.
Then what I know for sure is that this transaction for sure will not go on next block.
Yes.
And it has been like that for several hours today. Then
Yes.
probably this transaction will finish today, tomorrow,
Maybe
or
sometime when there's a block that is just not very busy. They'll be able to
Yeah.
slip it in, type of thing. Okay, so Carlos, what do you think in order to get in the block
we have
that you want to get in
we did the halving. Yes, we had the halving.
right now?
Yeah.
Oh, there we are, 63. Okay, okay. So now you need to try and see if you can send.
Yeah.
If you can send, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We can confirm this. We can see what happened with the last complete block. The last complete block still have the now. We now have
6.25.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was already complete. Then
Okay.
we are already in the halving time, but we can do the thing that we are going to do.
Yeah,
And
we're close enough. We're close enough. So,
yeah.
and see now when you send this, are you going to be able to put a message in there?
No. In fact,
Your wallet doesn't allow that. Okay.
Then let's do an example, no?
Okay.
How the wallet is being used.
Okay.
The first thing that
description. That's where you can put it, Carlos. You can put description.
But I think that is only for me. That is only for me.
Okay.
And the first thing that it asks is for the address to pay.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do an example. For example,
we
can go to the briefitdance.com.
Yes. Yes.
To look down, we can see that here there is a Bitcoin address.
Yes.
Is it correct, Bri? This is the address.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then let's do a test of just the fees and the thing.
And you copied that address, and you put it in the pay to. Carlos, are you sure that description doesn't go along with it?
I think that it doesn't go, but we can try.
Put live demo.
Live demo.
Brief fit dance.
Brief fit dance.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Sería, and then will be the number 1. Sorry, excuse me. 1. And here, this specific wallet, every wallet can be different. This is Electrum, is one that is not a full wallet.
Okay.
There is not a full node. The difference is a full node has the full blockchain into the computer.
Yes.
That is around 300 gigabytes of information.
That's right.
Just to have it. And here it allows to put the amount, in this case is configured to use Satoshis or to use US dollar.
Okay.
In case, let's say that, for example, we are going to send something like $50, for example.
Okay. And that gives you the amount of Satoshis right there.
Yeah. And then it calculates at the current price, the amount of
605, is that 587,000 or 600? I can't see. 587,500 Satoshis.
A Satoshi for the people is 1 Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshis.
That's correct.
Inside. Yeah. It's the fractional.
That's correct. So basically, the way that breaks down is once Bitcoin gets to $1 million per Bitcoin, then each Satoshi will be worth $1. That's the reason why he designed it that way, because he knew it was going to get to $1 million value, and so then each one will be worth $1.
Yeah, and that case will be about the all money in the world. If all money in the world suddenly will become
no, not to get to $1 million. It doesn't take that much to get to $1 million. I think it's
think that one Satoshi 1 million.
I think it's only like what, $20 trillion or something. Or well, you can do the math. It's not. It's not all the money.
Yeah, but a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Also, by the way, it would be difficult to understand how many money is really in the world. No?
It's a lot. There's a lot of money in the world. I can tell you that right now. Okay.
And here, this wallet lets me do different, depending on the urgency that I will have to choose the fee.
Yes.
And here it told me, for example, if I put this on the, in fact, I think that I can do something here. Okay. If I would like to have it on the next block, I will have to pay 144 Satoshis per byte.
Okay.
That is to give you an idea, and we can see this on the preview. This transaction is 522 bytes.
Okay.
Then the fee will be like this, in this case. If you can see...
So 75,000 Satoshis. So how much is that in US dollars?
We can do the... But what I can tell is that making this transaction almost on the next block will be 144 Satoshis per byte. Let's say that we will be around 5 blocks.
Yes.
Then will be 96. That is much lower.
That would be much better. Yeah. Don't spend extra on fees. That's not. Yeah. Because she'll get it.
Let's say that we can see that there are very little difference. Let's say that we do this transaction on 5 blocks.
Okay. Okay. Because we'll still be live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 2 blocks.
And then I'm going to do one, and we're going to see if mine gets there before yours.
Then let's do this. And I have to introduce, in this case, a password.
Okay.
And this transaction is
Okay,
going.
now, Brianna, check your app because you're going to get a notification on your app.
Yeah, I'm checking it.
And even,
Just
and
for the
you,
sake of
and,
curiosity,
and you will probably get a notification before it's processed.
yes.
You'll probably get a notification and it'll be pending. And my guess is you'll get that fairly quickly. So let us know live on the air when you get that.
And let's do another one, just for the sake of thing, and with a lower transaction. Lower transaction, that will be this one, for example. I want to put.
Here's this guy that says he doesn't invest in Bitcoin, but he's got Bitcoin to send to Brianna. That's pretty good. I'd hate to see it if he was actually investing in Bitcoin. Oh my gosh. There you go. Live on the channel, folks. This is live. This is not recorded. If you're watching right now, this is live. And Kyle says Kevin is on point today. And Brett says there is no one in here more screwed about not investing in Bitcoin than me. A friend tried to sell me on it and invest early when a coin was in the single digits. Yep, you should have bought it. Brett is in the house. Yeah, I feel you, Rich. I was looking at Bitcoin at $1.50. Joey's in the house. The real wealth is selling N95 masks and hand sanitizers. There you go. There's always going to be demand for an online store value that can't be seized by governments. BTC isn't going away anytime soon, says Ignore. And Levi Crush says, buy the rumor, sell the news. Peak usually 12 to 18 months after the halving. There you go. That's usually what happens. Triforce Rich, more than anything, I think I really need to consider buying a few gold bars. Diversifying assets is always smart. Like I said, Craig, if BTC takes another biggish dip, then I'll be buying. There you go. Yeah, I've got gold also. I have platinum as well. Joey's in the house. So I also have silver. The new banking will be XRP. Yeah, good luck with that. Our XRP is a total scam. Durr's in the house. We need to do another stream on how to buy Bitcoin again. I want to buy some. Durr in the house. We'll go over that in this stream. XRP is centralized scam coin pushed by monkey in a suit. Brett calling it the way it is. Triforce Rich is in the house. He says Carlos should invest with me for fun. Play with watch money. Let's put 10 to 20K and then try to buy our next watch with some profits. Triforce Rich. Brett's in the house. He says, great call. I bought one BTC at 8,400 just for my day date fund, says Brett. And was Carlos the CEO of BitConnect? Trashy Larry says, did you receive 1,200 emergency monopoly dollars? I didn't get any. Unfortunately, I don't qualify. My income's a little bit too high to get that, so I didn't get the 1,200. Let's see. I need to empty the bin, says Trashy Larry. And Egnor says the reason why I think Ethereum should be avoided like the plague is because a few years back, some ETH was stolen and the programmers went into the ETH blockchain and took the ETH coins back. Yeah, exactly. That's centralized. Brent's in the house. And he says they need to make ETH immutable. ETH is a scam. Durr's in the house. I think Archie Luxury is a major supporter of broke coin. And Ignor says, yep, that's the whole point of crypto. If you lose your private keys, it's gone. ETH programs went back to recover some stolen from the hackers. That's not good. Okay. Yeah, well, Ethereum has a lot more problems than just that. But anyway, Satoshi is an annoying name. Sounds like Mario Brothers character. Durr in the house. If BTC goes to 1 million, then all the other penny Bitcoin wannabe Coinbase will blow up dollars. I'm not sure what that means. Pimping ain't easy. Okay. All right. So I'm caught up on the comments. What else? Brianna, what happened?
I got 2 notifications.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, really quick.
Now, do any of them say that they're confirmed?
No, at least not from here.
No, 0 out of 3 confirmations.
Okay. There you go. All right. So there we go. Brianna's got some more Bitcoin, and I'll tell you one thing about Brianna. She's got her secret words secured, and
Yes.
that Bitcoin is in strong hands. Carlos, you can come back to Bitcoin in 10 years, and Brianna will share some of the profits with you, because she'll still have it. She'll still have that Bitcoin.
Oh yes.
In fact, the thing what happened to me with Bitcoin was very interesting, because, in fact, what I have now, that is less than one Bitcoin, came from long time ago. I purchased one Bitcoin. I think that I paid like $170 or something like that for it.
Sure.
Because I used to use a service, an internet service that I paid with Bitcoins. Nothing strange. Was just Amazon.
They just wanted Bitcoin. Yeah.
Certificates, and it was good to me to pay like that. And yeah, and I had it. After spending a bit, suddenly I didn't use that service anymore, and I had the Bitcoin, and I never sold it. But is there? I can play and learn things like
you mark my words. In 2028, Carlos, you mark my words. That'll be the equivalent of a date 8. What you have right now.
Okay, I will be
fraction.
happy for you and for Brianna.
Your fraction of a Bitcoin is going to be the equivalent of a date 8.
I will be very happy for you and for Brianna and for all the viewers that think that this is a good thing. I will be very, very happy.
There you go. There you go. All right. So what else? Before I send the Bitcoin to the lovely Brianna, what else do you have to share with us?
Nothing more in this case. In this case, this transaction should be finished, or at least I can give you the certainty that it will finish. If for some reason in some time, or let's say, that is something that it is interesting, because really, from the economic point of view, what will make sense is that the transactions fees will be needed, much bigger transaction fees to reward the miners.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, Carlos, this is what my best guess is. I'm thinking that the Lightning Network is going to take off, and there are going to be a lot of transactions on the Lightning Network. And see, those are going to have to be settled from time to time on the base layer. And when those settle on the base layer, it will be worthwhile to pay a significantly higher fee, because you're going to be, in effect, you might be settling 1,000 transactions. Okay? So the entrepreneurs out there will build payment systems where you're using Lightning Network, and XYZ retailer or whatever is using that to receive payments, and there are large batches of those payments that are processed all at once, and that's only one transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain. So even if you paid $100 to settle that, right, it would be worth it, because you're settling thousands of transactions. So I think that's where we're headed with this, is the big transactions will be settled on the base layer. Let's say I'm sending you $5 million, right, to buy a piece of real estate. I don't mind paying a big fee on the base layer to send you that money and get it done right away, right? And so I think the base layer is going to be used primarily for big settlements, and then everything else is going to be done on the Lightning Network or something like that. And so I think the miners will be. Yeah, so I think the miners will be able to get good fees. Does that make any sense to you, Carlos?
Yeah, to me makes sense. The thing is, really, that is, let's say, one of the limitations of the Bitcoin network will be precisely that should be one of the objectives of the network is precisely that it could be used to pay microtransactions. But if you need to pay, let's say that, for example, I would be paying a $5 super chat now with Bitcoin. The problem is that I will have to pay as a fee to the network like 20% of the value of the transaction. That is something that for sure is a weakness.
Yeah, that's why you're going to have to use something like Lightning.
Yeah, definitely.
You're going to have to use something like Lightning to do that. Okay.
And as you can see, we don't have a lot of blocks processed. We have that first block of the after the halving 20 minutes ago, and we didn't. What we can do is, I think, as I can see, it seems that this block is going to finish on the next block, because you can see that currently is 1.5 megabytes from the tip of the and is 10 megabytes. I think that it's going to go to Bree in the next block. Then why don't you do what you were
I'm gonna do my transaction now. I've got it up on the screen. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, do it, and if this when this finishes, we can show how.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the viewers what I'm doing here on the other camera. First, I'm going to go to the wide shot, and I've basically got my phone here, and I'm going into my Bitcoin folder where I have my wallet, and this is the wallet from blockchain.info. I got to look at the phone because it's doing the face recognition. Okay, and it's logging in. Okay, so I'm logged into my wallet. And I do like this wallet, by the way, the one that you get from blockchain.info. And so, and I'll show you what the icon is for it here on the close-up camera. But let me go to the close-up camera here so you can kind of see. This is the wallet, and it's saying I've got $219 worth of Bitcoin in this particular wallet, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to click on send, and there's a little up in the upper right hand corner, there's a little symbol for the QR code, and I'm just going to tap on that, and I'm going to point it at the QR code that's on my computer screen here from Brianna's website, briefitdance.com, and I'm just tapping that, and I just took a picture of it just like that. It just instantly took a picture of that, and it put her address in here, and I'm double checking. And it says SF, where's it starts 1. Interesting, it's showing 1P. It's showing a different address. That's interesting. I scanned that barcode. I wonder if that barcode is for a different address, Bree.
Really?
So let me go here, and I'm going to say 2, and I can click on the little arrow, and I've got a saved address in here for you. Let me click on that and see what that says. It says to Brianna. That's interesting. You might have 2 addresses, though. That's very likely. So we can double check that. But I'm looking at Brianna, and I'm going to try this. I'm going to say, let's send a BTC. We're going to send... okay, so that's 0.0058 BTC. So that's $50 worth of Bitcoin. Okay, and let me show you what I've got here. All right, and then I'm going to hit, let me get the mic over closer to me. I'm going to hit continue here. Okay, and what is this for? And I'm going to put in here live test. Live test. Okay, and I'm going to say done. And I'm going to say send. Success, payment sent. Okay, let's see what happens. Brianna, you got it?
No. I just have the app ready.
Okay. All right. It's going to be interesting to see because that's a saved address. I don't know. Did we set up more than one Bitcoin wallet for you, Brianna? Do you remember? Or did we just set up one?
Just one because I always get notifications, from
Okay.
one. Yeah, from one.
I'm gonna do another one with me scanning this this barcode and see if that works. Did you get any notification on the first one?
No.
Okay, let's wait. I want to wait and make sure you get a notification on that. Then we'll do another one. And see what happens if I scan the but somebody else, didn't we do a test one time scanning your barcode? I mean your QR code? I think we tested that.
Did.
It's interesting because a different address came up. They have different addresses. You can have a whole bunch of addresses. And I guess we copied and pasted one address there. And then the QR code has a different address. I like that, Carlos. I like that.
This is for Tree that he also likes these kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely. He runs on Bitcoin. Any luck? Did you get it? Did you get a notification? Bree?
No, not yet.
Interesting. I wonder what address that is I just sent that money to. It says Brianna. Okay, I'm going to do...
You said you took a picture of it?
No, I'm going to do that this time. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of it this time. So let me try this. And I want them to see what I'm doing. I'm taking a picture of the QR code here. Wow, I did it really fast. Okay, but see the address it's giving me it starts with 1PFUR. Bitcoin shouldn't be 1P, a Bitcoin address. I'm not sure that that's correct. I'm a little bit concerned.
I just sent you I just sent you the QR code that I have saved.
Yeah, I hear you, and it looks the same if you glance at it. I mean, I'm a little bit concerned now that this isn't the correct QR code. But Carlos used the address, and that worked. So obviously the address is correct. So,
yes,
for him worked.
Yeah, and Brianna is being able to see the transactions.
So Brianna, we might need to update your QR code. That might not be correct for some reason.
Well, I just got notifications from Carlos.
I know, but he used the address. He didn't use the QR code. I'm concerned about the QR code at this point. Because that's what I just sent to, I think. I think that's what I sent to, and you didn't get it.
Can you try with the address?
I can, and we know that would work. But I also sent to the address I had saved, and that it looks like you're not getting. So let's see here. I'm going back into my wallet here, and so I can look at my transactions and see activity. Here we go. Transferred 4 minutes ago, and
I got it in seconds when
it says pending three confirmations to Brianna. So if I tap on Brianna, see, that's the thing. It just says Brianna, and it doesn't give me the address. That is not good.
Oh, wow.
How can I get the address from my address book? See, I don't use this thing. I mean, I never spend my Bitcoin. So, yeah.
It's okay.
Well, we're going to figure this out one way or the
Yeah,
other.
we have to look at it.
All right, I'm going into addresses, and here's Brianna, and name Brianna, and then it doesn't show the address. What the heck? How can they possibly do this? Why would they not show us the address? Well, yeah, we'll have to sort this out, obviously. But at least we know the address is correct. We're not sure about the QR code at this point. Now, Carlos, what happens if do you have a wallet where you can take a picture of the QR code? Do you have a wallet on your phone?
Of my wallet. Yeah, I can show it to you. In fact, you can check what is if I go here.
What I'm concerned, my concern is the QR code, Brianna's QR code, with whether or not that's correct or not. I'm not so sure it's correct. The address that comes up when I take a picture of it doesn't look like a Bitcoin address.
Bruce on the chat says QR codes can be...
You want to take a picture of my QR code on the screen now?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. I mean,
you can send me one Bitcoin to test.
In order for somebody to go in, they would have had to get into the website and change out that QR code, hack their way into the website and change that QR code. But if they did that, they would have changed the address too. Why would they change one and not change the other? I think something's going on here. But anyway, we'll figure it out. We got to figure it out because this is important.
It is important.
And 21 Upbowl says, does she have more than one wallet, Craig? I don't think she does. Carlos, I'm really surprised that they had that back then in Spain, says Triforce Rich. In other words, Bitcoin, I guess.
No, the Mathingers did that.
So you didn't get so Bree, you didn't get any notification that you got Bitcoin from me.
No.
Okay. Interesting.
But I remember the first time you sent me a Bitcoin, I did get a notification using the QR code, I think.
You think so? I remember testing it. Yeah, and it worked.
And it was in November. I have the notification the first time. The 0.001 BTC.
So it says here 8 minutes ago, transferred, and it says live test, pending 0 of 3 confirmations. View on blockchain.com. Let me view it. And it says, it gives the hash from to, and then unconfirmed. Well, I mean, it's out there in La La Land somewhere. And it's 102.
The one Carlos has on the screen is not the same as on the website.
No, the one that I have in the screen is for me.
Oh, okay.
He can try.
It says value transacted, Bree, $102.96. That it says. Here, I'll put it on the thing. See here? See here? And it's out in La La Land somewhere. That's why and this is a good lesson is, if you send Bitcoin to the wrong address or something, it's gone. There's no 800 number you can call. and and get that puppy back. So
Unfortunately.
so man, that I wonder if that QR. I wonder if something happened to that QR code. This is amazing. When you got Bitcoin donated to you before, do you know how they did it? Did they use the QR code or did they use the address? You don't know, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty I mean, the easy way is to just get the QR code on the website. And
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem, and I'm not sure if that's correct at this point. I don't know because I didn't try sending to it because that was the second one I was going to send you, right? When I took the picture of the QR code, but the address that came up when I took the picture, it doesn't look right. That's why I didn't send it. But the one I did send, I sent to the address that was saved in my address book. And I don't
it's
know.
not
I don't know
it's
if
not
that address wasn't correct or why, but you haven't gotten that one. So, yeah, and this is one of the problems, one of the growing pains issues with Bitcoin is it is not that easy to use. It's not that user friendly, in my opinion. And you gotta, have some technical knowledge, and you gotta be careful about things. You gotta remember, double check the address you're sending it to, and make sure you have the correct address in the first place. So there's some issues with that. Well, that's disconcerting. That that is now, Carlos.
yeah.
Do you know what happens if there are no confirmations? If
It, uh, I understand that probably is the same that happened to me with. As I can see, there are no blocks processed after this after that one that was 37 minutes ago.
mm-hmm.
It seems like that. And I assume that in case that for any reason the transaction will not finish,
Mm-hmm.
it will go back to you. But I don't know. But
Okay.
I assume that if you have that address is probably from someone or something that exists. You can once it get you don't have any confirmation about that.
No, it says 0 of 3 confirmations.
Can you write me on the screen the destination address that you get from the QR code, or maybe I can get it. Let me check. For some reason.
This is really a poor design that they just, when I have you in my address book, it says to Brianna, and it doesn't give me the address that's associated with that. So I don't
Right.
even know if I've got the correct address in my address book here. This is really kludgy, if you ask me. So I take back all I said about this being a good wallet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, it seems like
oh,
definitely it
wait,
seems
this is
that
interesting. This is interesting.
What?
It says a wallet for Bitcoin for Brianna has 0.007376 Bitcoin. So maybe I just moved it into your wallet. No, that wouldn't show up as a transaction then. That doesn't make sense. But
I
anyway,
am going to look.
I have under addresses, I have wallets here, and I have Craig, Sarah, Brad Techwapcrest, and Brianna. And under Brianna, I've got 0.007376 BTC, like it's sitting there. Very strange.
Yeah.
As I can see,
Mm-hmm.
if you want, can you see my screen
Yes,
now?
yes.
Yes, I've looked on the blockchain
Mm-hmm.
for that address,
Mm-hmm.
and that address is the one that I've got with my QR reader, and it seems like there is only one transaction that it was done on November 12th
Mm-hmm.
on last year for 0.001 bitcoins
Yeah, that was
on
probably
that.
when we tested it when I sent her some Bitcoin.
Mhm.
So what address was that sent to? That was sent to the QR code on her that's on her website now.
Yes, this is the address
So
on
you're
that I
saying
can
that
see on
you're saying that in your opinion that QR code is a legitimate QR code.
no, it looks like that.
Okay.
Looks
Okay.
like that. I don't
Okay.
know.
So
I
that's
don't
good
know
news. So that's
where
good.
it came
So
from.
that's good news. So what seems like the problem is the address I had saved in my wallet for Brianna.
It's
That's
wrong.
the question. That may not be correct.
Well, that is good news if you are able to recover this wallet. If not, you
Well,
know.
I think, and Bree, did you send me a message? Okay. There you go.
I
All
just,
right.
I just sent you the QR code that's on my app.
And you can look and see, compare that to what's on your website. Does it look correct?
It's not the same. It's different.
It's different. Oh, jeez. Well, you might get a different one every time. By the way, you don't. You can have a bunch of addresses, and that's wallets do that. They'll create a new address, and that doesn't mean the old one isn't still good. So
When does it change?
when you request money or something like that, a lot of wallets generate a new address every time, just for
Okay.
security.
That could make sense. Yes.
Yeah, they do that for security. So, okay, so if I go into my Bitcoin wallet again, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, let's see, yeah, okay, so I'm going to go to send Bitcoin, and I'm going to get her QR code here again. Okay, this time I'm going to do the QR code. All right, and I'm going to say push on this, and there we go. Okay, I got it. And I'm going to send her okay. All right, and I'm going to say continue, and I'm going to say live test. Okay, whoops. Live test. And done. Okay, I'm going to try this again. This is after I took a picture of your thing. All right, so here it is. And I'm going to hit send. Okay. All right, that one was sent using the QR code.
Okay.
Um,
I just received it.
just like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so clearly the problem was the address that I had in my thing. And you know what I think it is, Bree? I don't think I lost that Bitcoin. I think I
You
just
didn't?
moved it from my one wallet into another wallet. I think that's just a wallet. I think I've
But
Yeah.
just got a wallet here for you.
whose whose wallet? Mine?
Yeah, I think I just created a wallet for you in my wallet for some reason.
Oh,
Maybe I was trying to add you as a recipient I didn't, and I actually created a wallet.
Oh, I see.
That's
But you didn't lose it, hopefully.
that's possible. Yeah, possible. It's still here, but it's just in the wallet. But it acted like it was sending it. That's what's confusing to me. So I still have some Bitcoin Cash here from the old Bitcoin split.
Okay, I can tell you something about that.
Okay.
Let me share the screen
Okay.
again.
Okay.
And works as a demo.
Okay.
Remember that before that transaction has gone on the block that was confirmed some time ago. On the block, and this is the transaction that you send, and yeah, it is on the that transaction is in the blockchain. That is the only thing that I can tell you. And it went on what block? I think that I can see here.
Now which transaction are we talking about now?
And the last one that you did.
The one I just did just now.
No. The one that you did before to the address that you don't have control. Let's say.
Okay. So you think that money's gone somewhere?
Has gone somewhere, a place that had before only 0.00 that currently has to a wallet that has only 2 transactions, and currently that wallet has 0.0067 bitcoins.
So it's gone somewhere.
Yeah, definitely somewhere. I don't know where, but it's somewhere.
It might be in this wallet that I created. This might be a wallet that I created named Brianna. But it's not, I don't know how I use it. It says here, Carlos, that this wallet Brianna has 0.007376 Bitcoin. That's what it says here on my app. It says 0.007376 Bitcoin.
737. What I can see on the blockchain for that wallet is that it has in total 0.00673. One transaction on.
Interesting, because I'm seeing November, a different. See, this is the number.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm showing, Carlos. You see that?
I cannot see your screen. Yes, let me check now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not showing it on the correct camera, because for you, you've got to see this camera. You got to see this. Can you see it there?
More or less, yeah.
On the Skype camera. Anyway, it just says Brianna, and it's
I can see. Yeah.
It's 0.007376 is what it's saying is in that wallet.
And what address is that wallet?
I don't know. It just says Brianna. It doesn't tell me.
You should be able to see the
I
address.
know. I clicked on it and I can't figure out any way to see to reveal it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
wow.
It will let me edit the name, Brianna, and it'll let me make it my default, which I don't want to do that. Extend public key. What is that? Sharing your XPub authorities allows other to track your transactions. Cancel that. Well, this is terrible. I have no way of knowing, and I can't figure out a way to even access that. It says wallets. My Bitcoin wallet, and then there's one for Craig, Sarah, Brad TechWobcast, and Brianna. And it's sitting right there, and if I tap on it, I can see it. But then it doesn't give me any option to send. Or maybe if I go back to my home page, I can send from that wallet. Maybe that's how I got to do this. All right, give me a second here. Let an idiot figure this out. Okay, I'm clicking on send. And then I'm going to send Bitcoin from, okay, here we go. Now I can select your wallet, Brianna. Okay, here we go. Now I've got your wallet. Now I can send this to Bree if I want to.
If you want.
Bree, what do you think? You think I should send you this Bitcoin?
I mean, I already have a few.
Or would you want me to hold it in safekeeping for you?
Maybe another time.
You don't want to get too spoiled too fast, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's.
But we know.
So that's what's going on here, Bree. Is I've definitely got it here sitting in another wallet. That's what happened. It was sent into a wallet. I'd created extra wallets here, and it was sent into that wallet.
That's no problem. Just a little disorganization.
But I Bree, I think I should send it. I think I should send it to you because I'm very capable of losing this money. So I think it'd be safer with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this here. I'm going to say from Brianna, I'm going to click on the code thing. I'm going to take another picture. Whoa, there, it took it just like that. So from Brianna to that, and I'm going to say total available minus fee. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send that. That's the total. And I'm going to say, let's show this on camera. I'm going to say send, continue, and send. This one I didn't put a description. Okay, I just sent that. Okay. And now maybe Carlos can confirm on the blockchain live if that was sent to Brianna.
To Brianna current account.
To the lovely Brianna. BreeFitDance.com, folks. If you want to send some Bitcoin to the lovely Brianna, and she will dance for you. She'll dance for Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to dance before we wrap up? Are you going to give us a little Bitcoin dance?
Yes,
okay.
I can.
Okay. Make sure you got a nice outfit on. Okay. Get ready.
Yeah, I think I do.
You do already? Okay.
Yes.
There you go. And Durr says some guy named Bree in Nigeria is very happy with Craig's Bitcoin. And, by the way, did you get a notification? Check and see. Did you get it?
I did, yes.
Just now?
A minute ago.
Okay. Bree's all over it. Triforce Rich is in the house. Imagine if Craig sent his entire wallet to Bree accidentally. Bree off on a first-class flight to Ecuador. There you go. Absolutely. Well, Bree is going to take care of my Bitcoin when I'm gone. She's going to take custody of my Bitcoin and take care of it because she's the only one I know that has a strong hand.
Yes, will never sell.
That I can trust to never sell. Come you know what or high water. So there we go. What do we see, Carlos?
Yeah, I can see in Bree, in Bree wallet. I think that I can only see currently as unconfirmed the transactions that I sent. I cannot see any reason from all different on the wallet that is in the Bree web. I can only see.
Well, that's interesting because she did get a notification.
Yes, I did.
Maybe it's something that it needs a bit of time to
show up. You think so? All right, while we're waiting for that to show up, can you give us an update from Panama?
Yes, definitely. The thing, what is happening here is basically the government is starting to consider the opening. They are very, very concerned about how to do it because I really think, as I know Panamanians, I can expect that probably we will have a big hit once it gets open because there are a lot of people without any kind of discipline about that. We are still on general quarantine. We are still only being able to leave our house three times per week, only for 2 hours. The difference that we have currently is basically the only real difference is that now we have a not so stringent dry law. Now we are able to purchase alcohol, but only one six pack or one bottle of wine or other liquor, supposedly per day.
All right, let me ask you a question. What are the demographics like in, I'm going to try to get Bree. How can I get her side by side on your screen? How come this is not working? Let me see. Oh, grid view. It's not working. That's interesting. Okay, let me ask you something about the demographics there. Like,
Right.
are there a lot of older folks there, or is it primarily middle-aged to younger folks? What's the breakdown on that?
To me, it's hardly to tell. I would assume that will be younger than, let's say, other kind of countries like US. I would
Because
say that it's younger
that's the biggest risk factor is people like 80 years of age and up. If you're 80 years of age and up, you've got like a 1 in 3 chance of dying of this thing if you catch it. I mean, it's
yeah,
very bad news for somebody 80 years and up. But if you're like, say, 60 years, like around my age and younger, the opposite is true. It's a very small number of people that die from this unless you have like pretty bad pre-existing conditions, like pretty bad diabetes or something, right?
you can
Generally,
share my screen and you can see what is happening now. But we are having not a lot of deaths. We had 244 people died on the full pandemic. Yeah? That is considering that we are 4 million of people is it's a lot, but not a
it's a small
horrible.
percentage. It's a small
Yeah,
percentage.
yeah. Considering other places.
You know, Carlos, just to put this in perspective, and you got to realize that the media here in the United States, they want to get as much hay out of this thing as they can. They want to hype this thing as much as they possibly can because they want people to keep watching them, right? But
Yes, here.
here's the thing, to give a little bit of perspective here, Carlos. In the United States of America, about 600,000 plus people a year die from heart disease and stroke. Another 600,000 plus per year die from cancer. Those two things alone, you know, that's a lot of people, right? That's a lot more people than are dying of this thing in the worst case scenario that are going to die of this thing. Let's use a number of 200,000. Let's say 200,000 people die from COVID-19, right? That's a much smaller number than 600,000 plus 600,000. And that happens every year like clockwork, that number of people dying. So that's the thing is they're not going to put that into perspective because it doesn't, you know, scare people as much if you put it in perspective, right? And they want to scare people. So it might be the same thing in your country. A lot of those 200 and some odd people that died, they might have died of a stroke or heart attack if they didn't die of that. You know, so it's six one half dozen the other, right? So I'm just trying to give a little bit of perspective here of as far as numbers of people that die on a regular basis. there's been some studies done in New York that basically say that the number of people that have died there since this thing started is about the same number that normally die. That it's no different. That, okay, maybe some people died of COVID-19, maybe they would have died already of heart attack or stroke or whatever, right? And so just to give a little bit of perspective, the younger people Brianna's age, the chance of her dying from this thing is pretty close to zero. It's
sure.
It's just non-existent. And the media isn't going to say that.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem is that they can transmit to their parents, their grandparents. Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, and that's the other way they justify, trying to shut everybody down is, oh, well, you don't care about the other people. You're going to get it and you're going to give it to the other people. Well, no, you don't necessarily have to. You don't have to go visit your grandma. You can stay away from your grandma if that's the personal choice that your family chooses to do, right? That comes along with freedom, is what kind of risk do I want to take? What kind of risk does my grandmother want to take? Maybe my grandmother, like my dad, he's 94 years old, he still wants to see his grandchildren. He's willing to take the risk. He still wants to see them every day. And he said, if I get this thing and I die, that's fine, but I want to see my grandchildren. Now, somebody else might say, I don't want to take that risk. I want to wait till there's a vaccine. I want to stay away from people that I can possibly get it from. And they can do that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what's called personal responsibility. And my concern is, while we're doing all this lockdown, we are wrecking the economy. That's 100% sure. We know that's happening. We're wrecking the economy. Are we saving some lives? Maybe. Maybe we're saving some lives. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're just putting off a few. There are studies that say that we might have been better off going for herd immunity, letting the young people go out and get the herd immunity so that then we're over this thing. Whereas if you don't do that and you don't get herd immunity, maybe you're just extending this whole thing. Maybe Sweden is doing the right thing, going for herd immunity. So
definitely it's a new thing. I think the only risk is if the health service get overflowed. But
yeah, that's what they talk about. Absolutely, and but that didn't happen, and it's probably not going to happen, at least here in the U.S. But
neither here.
It's a lot of problems. It's a lot of problems, and we know. And here's the thing. I think the big problem is I think most people don't realize what this can really do to the economy and how long those effects can. I was talking to my buddy Dan McDermott today about businesses, small businesses. There are people that went out and got a job and worked real hard for 10, 15, 20 years, saved up money, and opened up their own business and put everything into that business and then had that business going and were successful. And now if that business crashes and burns, if they can't pay their rent and they can't pay this and pay that and so on, and that thing crashes and burns, they've reset that whole clock again. Now they've got to go out and get a job in a hard job market and work for 10 or 15 years and save up money and start a whole nother business. So it literally resets that whole clock. And that could happen for a lot of people. It's not like you can just willy-nilly destroy a business, close that business down, and then 2 months later or 3 months later or 6 months later when the economy reopens, quote, reopens, all of a sudden that guy's business is going to be okay now. It might not be the case. It might be totally wrecked to where he has to work 10 years to save up money to start another business.
Yes, definitely. So, a lot of wealth will be destroyed and is being destroyed.
And you don't hear the media talking about that and talking about the ramifications of that. Right?
Right. They talk about positive. Well, they don't even say anything. They don't even mention that. No,
they just say if you stay home and wear a mask when you go out, everything's going to be fine.
Right.
Everything's going to be far from fine. The longer they keep things
Controlling
locked,
everything.
the longer they keep things locked down like that, the the worst it's going to be, literally, possibly for years. Well, let's get on a more positive subject. Did you
No,
get?
no, that's what is happening. For example, here
Mhm,
we used to have a gardener
mhm,
that now he cannot work. For sure, I am doing the work,
mhm,
and I am paying him his salary.
mhm,
Nevertheless, he has not come in the last month and a half.
mhm,
But a part of his base salary, we do something that is very Panamanian that is called camaron. Camaron, like the shrimp that here comes from when the Americans were here, that usually tell to the people, after your regular work, come around and do this thing for me, and they call it camaron here.
mhm,
And to give you an idea, with that extra works that I from time to time ask to him that and is not part of his, let's say, regular salary, he probably will get like an amount similar to the regular payment. And for sure, he is not getting that. He is
mhm,
also a gardener that is working also in other houses in this closed gate community,
mhm.
and other people is not paying him. And
That
then
that's
and
right.
he's told me, how can I do for work? It's possible to get a pass to be able to move in Panama. There are people who is selling that kind of salvoconductos, that kind of
Mhm,
pass. Yeah, and unfortunately, yes, definitely, who is suffering more are, on one side, the people who has less resources, and in other side, for sure, the entrepreneurs that has their little business or the big business that are not able, probably, yeah, it's something.
this is the problem, is the little guy that, and
Yeah.
they're really the engine of this whole economy, is these small owner operator businesses that are out there working hard every day, and they're the ones that are being hurt by this thing, because
Yeah,
a lot of them were not able to even get on the computer to get in to try to get the emergency funding. It was confusing. I looked at it. I looked at the PPP and what you do to go in there and apply for it and all, and it's okay. I mean, I could do it okay, but a lot of the small business owners can't. They get confused and they, for whatever reason, and some of them are working with smaller local banks, and the banks weren't that helpful, and so they weren't able to get their applications in soon enough. So they didn't get any relief. They didn't get any money. The money ran out very quickly. Government just doesn't have enough money to fund all of these small businesses. Let's face it, they just don't have. I don't care how much money they print. They can't save all these businesses. And so that's where we are. And my real concern is that a lot of these businesses are just straight up not going to be able to survive. And we're going to look back and we're going to say, man, this was really costly. And I'm okay, and I'm sure Carlos is okay. We have resources, and the people that are affluent are going to be okay, but there's going to be a whole bunch of little guys out there, and that really are the backbone of the world economy, that aren't going to be okay, and that's what really worries me. So anyway,
Definitely,
let's
definitely.
yeah let's enough on this subject. It's too depressing. And Durr says, Craig, over the course of your lifetime, how many puppies would you say you've wrapped up? In other words, they're saying we got to wrap this puppy up. We've been broadcasting too long. But then other people are saying in here, no, keep it going, keep it going. You can't win. Some people want us to wrap up, and some people say keep it going. Okay, lovely Brianna. Now, how do I put you on the screen? Carlos, how does this work? How do I decide who is full screen? Share screen. No, I don't want to do that. How do I put you guys? I used to be able to put you guys side by side. How come I can't do that?
I think that you can do like you can drag, you can click on the photo
Mm-hmm.
and drag. I think.
And
Something like that.
it's not working.
Maybe right click? No?
Right click. It says mute, remove from call, send message, view profile. Oh, well now, maybe it's being controlled by who's talking. Okay, well I can see you now full screen, Bree. Okay, so I guess you're going to have to do the Bitcoin dance for us.
Okay.
Show us what you would do if somebody gives you a Bitcoin donation on your channel, and Durr says, no, don't wrap it up. Show us. Okay, Okay, let's say a $50 Bitcoin donation. Okay. What dance would you do? Show us the dance you do.
All right. Let me see if I can set it up too.
Okay, take your time. Take your time. We're live. They want us to keep going, so.
Would there be some music?
You can play some music if you want, as long as it's not copyright issues.
Okay.
You want to play your theme song?
Sure. I do appreciate the Bitcoin donations, though.
Briefitdance.com. You can find out how to do it. You can find out how to do a donation. And the younger folks, younger than me, they'll be able to figure it out real easily.
Yes. Okay. So, right, I'm trying to find the...
And Triforce Rich says, I wonder what dance you'll do if Craig buys you a Rolex. I don't even know if that one will be able to broadcast. That one might be too incredible for us to even be able to broadcast.
Too sultry.
It might be. That you might have to become a high dollar Patreon to see that one. High dollar Patreon. You have Patreon at different levels on your website, right? Your Patreon?
Yes, I have the $5.25. I think there is 100.
Okay, good. Good. And somebody can do a custom amount, right? They can customize it. Didn't you have somebody that bumped his up from 25 to 45 or something?
Yes.
So you can choose a custom amount, right?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
If they if they like what they see.
There you go. All right, and he's got the and Carlos has the Trumpy bear.
Yeah.
He's got the Trumpy bear.
Wants to see the dance.
He wants to see the dance. There you go. Okay. Well, now we've got so why don't you do this? Why don't you mute your mic, Carlos, so that then when she talks, she'll be full screen because it's going by who's talking. So go ahead and say something, Brianna.
Okay, I'm going to dance soon.
Well, it's still okay. Now it went to you. I double clicked and it went to you. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Is that good?
Go back a little bit further. That's perfect right there.
Okay. Share. Okay,
live, that's good. Live television, folks. We are live on this emergency. And Brianna is dancing because she got some Bitcoin donations today. And she's willing to dance for Bitcoin. She'll dance for your Bitcoin. And the Trumpy bear is dancing too. Trumpy bear. And that's a custom theme song by Kent Courtney. The lovely Brianna, BreeFitDance.com. BreeFitDance.com. You can learn all about fitness, health, motivation. Triforce Rich says if Carlos's wife walks in on him, that'll be it. It'll be done for. All right, Bree, I think that's enough. You're heating up the screen enough here. We better. All right, if you want to see more, BreeFitDance.com, BreeFitDance.com, and you find out all her links to all her social media and all that good stuff. And fantastic. Carlo, look what Carlos has. he had a beating heart on the screen there.
A beating heart.
Yeah. Very, very good. Okay. And Durr says, no, don't wrap it up. I read that one. And Triforce Rich says, small businesses are being killed. Trust me, I know a ton of them and work with them. Yeah, I hear you. I know all about fitness, as in fitness pizza in my mouth. Durr eats pizza for fitness. There you go. Triforce Rich says, Bree, what would you rather have, a day date or one BTC? One Bitcoin or a day date? Which would you rather have?
One Bitcoin.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I don't think day dates are enough.
You want that Bitcoin. I don't blame you. Smart girl. Smart girl. All right. So what do you think? What do you think, Carlos? What do you have any remaining pearls of wisdom for us?
No, I just I don't know what is going to happen. I think that on the end, this situation from the general economic point of view of the U.S., I think that for U.S. it is going to be a good thing to be decoupled of China. Nevertheless, for sure, a lot of small business owners can suffer a lot. But I am extremely concerned about Spain. Sincerely, very, very, very concerned about Spain. But I think
now Lance says, Craig, you should get Bree a rose gold date 8. I think Bree prefers the yellow gold, but we'll wait until she sees the 002 and looks at the yellow gold, and we'll let her make a final decision if she prefers yellow or rose gold. What do you think? Are you tending towards yellow gold, Bree, or rose gold?
Yellow gold.
Yellow gold. Yeah, I think it's more versatile because you can get a lot of different things in yellow gold, and it's always going to kind of match. So I think that might be a good move. Craig,
my wife, I think she's going for the probably on rose gold on next year.
Your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for next year she probably.
Now, does she already have rose gold jewelry, or does she have yellow gold jewelry? Like earrings, stuff like that.
She have all colors. Really.
All colors.
She already has a very. In fact, she has the most expensive watch that we have in the family. Is hers. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting that it's definitely a good thing to be Carlos's wife. It sounds like. What do you think, Bree? Sounds like that's not a bad position to be in. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Well, well.
Absolutely, he's a good guy, and he knows, and he takes good care of his wife, right? Yeah,
We take care of both.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Now,
And,
Durr says
and
that.
she wants a rose gold, it seems. That or it seems that she wants for next year or Lady President or maybe Aquanaut with white strap, something like that. We
Okay.
would see.
Now, Durr says on the next live stream starts at 5 o'clock and it's Watch Talk. So he's already talking about the next live stream. Did you, Steve might do a show after this one. I told him I was doing an early stream, and he might. It's definitely a might. He might do a show, but I'm going to wrap this one fairly soon because I am going to have to eat something because I skipped lunch to do this one. And I just had a few peanuts. I went for a walk, and I had one pocket's full of peanuts when I was walking, and that's not enough to tide me over.
Same.
So, and Carlos's wife position is taken, but maybe a mistress. No. Carlos doesn't need a mistress. He's a happily married man, and she's a lucky young lady. So that's how that works. And yeah, Triforce Rich says Carlos is too loyal though. Yeah, absolutely. He's a good guy. That's the point there. All right. Well, so Carlos, can you check the blockchain one more time before we wrap up to see if everything's confirmed? And Bree, can you check and see if you have any confirmations?
Sure. I
Sure.
don't have my transactions. It seems that are not already confirmed, I think. As I can see, at least mine's are not already confirmed. Probably.
Yours are not confirmed, you said?
Not yet. Not yet.
1 out of 3 confirmations.
On which one?
From Carlos.
On both of them? He sent you 2, right?
Well, the first one, it's 2 out of 3, and then the second one is 1 out of 3.
And what does the one that I sent say?
Says here 0 out of 3.
Now, dude, did you get 2 from me or 1 from me?
I got 2.
And they both say 0.
Yes, and it has like a triangle with an exclamation point.
Uh-oh.
The blocks are going really, really slow since the halving.
Yeah.
Several farms has been disconnected as far at the halving time, because to give you an idea, after the halving, there has been only 5 blocks. And on the last 2 hours, only 6 blocks.
And the Bitcoin price right now is sitting at $8,634 on Coinbase, 86.34. So yeah, things are going slow. And so what you're saying, from what you understand, Carlos, if a certain period of time goes by and that is not confirmed, that basically will come back into my wallet.
Yes.
Okay.
Or for example, the option that I will have, it will be something that I will do, but probably more like tomorrow, is to increase the fee. I am able with my wallet. I am able to increase the fee on a running.
Doesn't sound like you're going to have to, because yours already have some confirmations. So my guess is yours are going to be okay.
Yeah, I think so, that they should be okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes this is a bit slow. You know, as we were told, if I would pay $1 more, the transactions will be already finished. But
Yeah. We were just
yeah,
we were just testing. Yeah, we're and Greg Allen says, when did women get awarded the right to buy Bitcoin? There you go. Well, Brianna took the right. she asserted herself. That's what you need to do, Brianna. Do you understand? You need to assert yourself.
Yes.
You can't wait for success to come to you. What was that tweet I sent to you earlier?
Today?
Yeah, did you get a tweet that I messaged to you on Twitter?
It says here, success doesn't just find you, you have to go out and get it.
There you go.
Very true.
That makes sense, especially with what's going on in the economy these days. You got to really be a go-getter. You got to be willing to make things happen, because I'll tell you one thing, if you sit around and wait for the government to save the day, that's not going to end well, because they are not good at saving the day. Greg, they don't, men buy it for them. That's how it works. Men send the Bitcoin to the lady. That's right. She doesn't have to buy it. That's the way that works. Derek's in the house. What is the wait, is the show over already? I just got here. Derek in the house. And Lance, let's see. What should we talk about? All right. Well.
By the way, Craig, I am considering my plans. Currently, it seems that the airport is going to be open here in Panama by early June. One thing that is sure is that I want to go out as soon as I can, because I am really needing to.
You got cabin fever a little bit.
Yeah, a bit. I have a travel plan to Spain on early July, but I might be going to US on mid-June, and probably the place will be to Maryland to visit my friend, if that will be the case.
Good. Well, we will all get together, and somehow, some way, we will get together. And even if Little Treasury is not open for normal business, we'll still get together. We'll have a private party.
We will see. We will see how it goes. I already have the tickets, because I had to cancel the previous flight. I had also tickets to California. I have a lot of.
You have a lot of tickets, yeah. Now, Bree, give us an update on the Naval Academy. Are they having classes, or are they shut down?
Oh, so today, 200 midshipmen went to pick up their stuff, and they're doing that every day, but they're not opened yet.
What do you mean by picked up their stuff? What did they do?
Like in their rooms.
So they went and got their things so they can leave, or are they going back home, or?
I think they're actually staying. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to clear it up.
Yeah, see what you can find out, and see what you find out about the noon formation, if they're going to be doing that. Of course, by June they might be out of session by then.
Oh, yeah, they should be there by then.
Well, no, June is summer break, right?
Summer break, yes.
So they won't be doing the noon formation, I don't think, then. They only do that when classes are in session, right? I think
so.
Yeah. Okay. And your mom's in the house. Yes, they leave, I guess she's saying they leave the same day.
So they pick up.
And Durr says, Craig, you should grow a quarantine beard. I don't like beards, and I don't like 2 or 3 day stubble. I like to be clean shaven. For me, it's more comfortable. It feels more comfortable for me to be clean shaven. So, yeah, I think I'll stay with that routine. So Carlos shaves most days. Sometimes he gets a little bit of stubble, but he shaves most days, I think.
Well, now, not really. One thing that for sure, I am not able to have bird of more than 2 or 3 days. In fact, I really sleep badly if I have long bird or long, more
Yeah,
than 2 or 3 days.
yeah,
But yeah, usually now with this situation, I will not mind being 2 days without saving. If I will have any kind of conference or whatever, I will I will save earlier. But yeah,
yeah,
me the limit is like 2 3 days at the most. But
yeah.
sometimes for any reason, nevertheless, it's a Saturday or Sunday, and I don't have any plan. Sometimes I just wake up at night, feeling uncomfortable, and I have to save on the middle.
Let's get some feedback from the lovely Brianna. What do you think? What do you think a guy should be clean shaven, or do you think he should have a couple days worth of stubble, or do you think he should have like a beard, a full beard, or what do you think?
Well, this is my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be no beard.
No beard. Okay.
Yes, just to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what germs could be there
Okay.
and bacteria. So yes.
Now, what about 2 or 3 days worth of stubble? Do you think that's good, or do you think he should be clean shaven?
Um, Maybe. I mean, if he's busy, then it's all good.
It's not
But
because I am busy. If that is
So,
the
in other words, you're not saying that it's a plus. You're just saying that for convenience sake, he can have a couple days stubble, but that if he's not too busy, you just as soon him be clean shaven?
yeah.
There you go. That's okay. You can say that. I mean, it's not. I know it's the hip thing these days for guys to have a bunch of stubble, but I mean, it's okay for you to say that being clean shaven is a better way to go. I've had over the years, I've had many ladies tell me that they would much rather you be very clean shaven, that they don't like the rubbing from the stubble, the like sandpaper type thing, that they don't like that. So
Right. Little
yeah,
rough on
yeah,
their skin.
yeah. So there you go. And Durr says most women dig guys with a few days of stubble. Well, you're hearing right here that maybe that's not the case, Durr. Maybe they don't. So we'll see. All right. On that note, I think we're going to wrap this puppy up. I thank you profusely, Carlos, for all your hard work putting into
Yes.
this broadcast.
No, it's not that. It's not any kind of hard work. It's just I had the curiosity to investigate it a bit more, and yeah, and I think that it could be a good idea to share a bit of it.
And
And
also, I have to thank you on behalf of Brianna for the lovely donation to her. And it is in good hands, right, Bree?
yeah.
Yes, it is. I appreciate it all.
And Craig, if you don't know what to do with your Bitcoin, I can keep them safe. Yeah,
You do? Do you do Bitcoin custody? You do secure custody down
yeah,
in
I can.
Panama? I might need your services. I might want to send some Bitcoin down to you just for safekeeping. You never know when you might need to have a stash somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you might need to, take off in a hurry, and you might need to have a secure stash somewhere. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's good. Very, very good to know. All right,
You can.
I'm gonna let you guys go, and appreciate the participation. And I'm sure Bree has a lot of work to do with her schoolwork and so forth, and her content creation. So learn more at briefitdance.com. Briefitdance.com. I'll make sure that the link to her website is in the description of this video. I don't know if I put it there or not, but I'll make sure that I put it there. And thank you both.
Thank you to you. Thank you. I really appreciate these streams. I know that I assume that it's an effort from you to have content every day for 1 month, but at least I really appreciate it. It makes my days more fun having being with you and with the people on the chat, and it's something that to me is enjoyable. Yeah.
Well, and it, we're all in this together, this situation that we're going through, and we're trying to do our best. And, this is just part of it to try to, keep things going. And they want to keep this stream going. They're saying, Craig, wrapping this puppy up. If we don't have a watch talk after this, Lance said he would buy a tutor. Oh, geez. That's terrible. Lance needs an intervention. Craig, Dear Stifle is right. I like the Black Bay 36. Oh, my goodness. Joey's in the house. Lance, get the tutor. BB41 in the house. See, Craig, you can't end it. I have to, because I have to eat something. I have to sustain myself. And I have to be ready to do a show tomorrow. I got to take care of myself so that I can do a show tomorrow.
You won't have energy.
Tomorrow will come. It will be here like clockwork. So speaking of clockwork, we've done the Bitcoin halving, and now we're going to see what effect it has on the whole system. How many miners capitulate, and we'll see what it does to the price. And interesting times ahead, everybody. Again, thanks for calling in, Carlos and Bree.
Thank you.
And I'm going to hang up on you too.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to wrap this puppy up. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Bree. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Okay. Just like that. Wow. That was a marathon show. I think we've been going for like 2 hours. I don't know how long we've been going, but it's been a while. And let me take this over here. I'm rearranging these windows because I do want to show you one more time Bree's website so that you'll know how to send a donation. There's the QR code and her Bitcoin address right there. And then if you go all the way up to the top, it's briefitdance.com. Whoops, I'm not showing it. briefitdance.com. And you can show your support for the lovely Brianna. And Martin Ryder says tomorrow never dies, and the Doxa ambassador is gone. That's right. Does he also, Joey Ben? Does he also sell Rolex? Let's see here. Okay. All right. Joey says, Lance, I got an AD tutor. No. Don't help him buy a tutor, for gosh sakes. What are you people, out of your minds? Absolutely out of your freaking minds. Durs in the house. I was an hour and a half of just trying to figure out where the Bitcoin went. Okay, here we go. Let's do a close-up of the stunner here before we wrap this puppy. Look at that stunner. Are you kidding me? You have got to be kidding me. That watch is unfreaking believable. Some guy says, "Oh, well, your skin looks bad. You got wrinkles and so on and so forth." Hey, I told the guy, says, when you get to be my age, let's see what yours looks like. But here's the thing. Another guy made a comment. I was going to show this on stupid comments. And he says, well, if you've got a Rolex and you're somewhere and you're in trouble or whatever, and you need to get money for a plane ticket, you can always sell a Rolex and get some money and get out of trouble or whatever, right? I said, well, I would just rather carry some cash, right, and not sell my Rolex. I always carry some emergency cash with me, right? He says, well, people can take that from you. You might not have that. Well, if they're going to take the cash, you don't think they're going to take your Rolex too? I mean, this makes no logical sense, right? I mean, trust me, they're going to take the watch. Is going to be one of the first things they're going to take. And if they can find the hidden cash and you've got like a special money belt underneath your shirt, right? What you've got some hidden money and all. I mean, that's going to be the last thing they're going to find, right? They're going to get your wallet. They're going to get, your watch. They might not find your hidden cash, right? But to assume that what's going to hit the fan, and you're going to have your watch available, and you're going to be able to like sell that and get a plane ticket or whatever, or bribe the cop or whatever you're going to do. I think that's like a very marginal plan at best. I'll say that. Kyle's in the house, and he says thanks to Craig. Lamont's in the house, and you hear that story all the time. Well, you can always use the Rolex for some emergency money. Well, I think I'd rather just have some cash for that and not like sell my watch for like 20 cents on the dollar or something. So there's that. And Durr's in the house. If Steve's comes on tonight, you should do a show with him. Lamont, I am missing your master puppeteer. Joey says, Carlos, who's your Doxa guy? I love those watches. Oh, jeez. People, please. You people need an intervention. All right. On that note, I think I'm going to wrap this puppy up so that I can get something to eat. And I still got to get some exercise in. I got a very short walk in earlier because I just had to get ready for this. We had to push this stream up. And I apologize for the regular viewers that normally tune in at 5 o'clock, that we had to have this emergency broadcast early. And that's just the way it worked today because of the Bitcoin halving. In case you missed it, the Bitcoin halving happened a couple hours ago, and we broadcast live on the channel when it happened. And Derek says, Craig, hold on a second. And Triforce Rich says, Craig, Doxa is greater than GS. Have we spoken on Rolex? Chicken and sweet potato. I don't know if I'm going to have chicken today or not, though. I might not have chicken today. The Mighty Rat says, are we just starting? Derek says, wait. Continuing the show, wrapping this puppy up. Continuing the show is greater than wrapping this puppy up. Oh, boy, you guys. You guys are insatiable. There's no pups to wrap. All right, let's show the stunner one more time, and then we're going to wrap this puppy. Look at this thing. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you got to admit, that is freaking crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see if we got a picture here. Look at this. That is absolutely crazy. Crazy talk, folks. Let's see if we do this. What's that? Oh, I don't know what that's doing. I guess it was already maximized. I guess that's about as big as it gets. Let that focus back in again. It's out of focus. Come on, load in. Oh, it's not loading in. All right, I'm cutting away from that until I can get it in focus. Why the heck was it not in focus? Let's refresh that and see if we can get it in focus. There we go. There's the stunner in focus. In focus. I'm calling PETA on you, Craig. You can't wrap this puppy up. Yeah, tell them that I've got an alligator strap on that stunner. They'll really get bent out of shape. They'll get totally bent out of shape on that. They've already messed up California on all that. You can't buy those straps in California. Can you imagine those idiots? Can you imagine? You can't have an alligator strap. And by the way, the people from Louisiana said that they think it is alligator. I got feedback from them, and they think it is alligator. So the plot thickens on all that. Click subscribe, click the bell, and we are out of here.